Hi, I'm Pat DeLong. I made a video the other day about my book, The Life and Times of Billy the Kid. Well, that's not the only book that I wrote. I had another one running around in my head for years, and every time I would try to do something with it, I just couldn't. It was almost as if I couldn't do another book until Billy was done, until Billy was in print and perfect. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as Billy was available as a Kindle and in print again, this book worked out. It's called the Amethyst Crystal, and it went in a different direction than what I foresaw. It flowed. I've learned with these books that if I just sit down and write real fast what comes into my head and check the grammar later, that it makes the best possible book. And any artist or writer will tell you that when it flows, you don't argue with it. You just write or paint real fast and you go with it. So I'm going to read the first chapter for you, and hopefully it'll perk your interest and you'll be interested in the rest of the book. The Amethyst Crystal. "Hey, what do you have there? Let me see it," Randy exclaimed as he made a swipe at my hand. "No, it's none of your business," I said, as I curled my fingers tight around it and tried to stuff it in my pocket. "Aw, come on. It's too late. I already saw it." Randy sat down next to me, and once again he reached to grab for it. I said no. Don't you understand English? If I wanted you to see it— "Okay, TJ," Randy sighed. "Be that way. I wouldn't want to see your stupid crystal anyway." He got up in a huff and kicked a stone at me, and as he stormed off, I reconsidered my actions. "Now wait, come back." The words were barely out of my mouth, and he was back at my side. "You can look, but don't touch, okay?" "All right, I'll just look," he said with a sigh. My cousin was more like a brother to me. I was less than a month older than him, but then I was also born prematurely. Our parents thought that we'd have the same birthday, but I had other plans. He lived a block away, so we were very close in more ways than one. But still, I pulled the crystal out of my pocket. The chain that was attached to it was wrapped around my hand. I slowly uncurled my fingers, and the crystal glowed with a faint amethyst aura. Randy started to reach for it again, and I jerked my hand away. "Geez, TJ, it's a cool crystal, but you don't have to treat it like it's gold. Though, I've never seen one that glowed like that before," he said as he reconsidered about its value. "You just don't understand, Randy. I'm not supposed to let anyone see it or touch it. It's very special. I didn't know quite what to call it, and I was already doing wrong by letting someone see it. If I said any more, I'd really be in trouble. It's not like I wasn't already. Oh no, I'm getting paranoid," I thought to myself as I fervently looked around. "Come on, TJ, we've been friends for years. I don't see why you can't tell me. I mean, you got it as a souvenir when you went to see that crystal cave, right?" "No, this was a whole lot more special than anything I would have gotten as an attraction park souvenir." There's no way I could let Randy know that. I had come to the old graveyard to think. Usually it's just a quiet, undisturbed place, but not today. I was so absorbed in my thoughts that I hadn't heard the intruder sneaking up on me. Randy joined me on the old tombstone, which was unlike the other grave markers. It was a very old place. A lot of markings on the headstones were long gone. This one laid flat and measured about 10 feet long by 6 feet wide. Several names and dates were still visible. Over the years, folks would dump dirt on it so that whatever was underneath couldn't find its way out. Some older kids had cleaned it off, even going so far as to try to move it. But they didn't get very far when they were frightened off, never to return. Supposedly several witches and warlocks were buried there, which made it a great destination for Halloween. I know he was feeling uncomfortable, for it was here on that night of All Hallows Eve when we saw the ghostly figure in the trees. He squirmed, and I could tell he wanted to get out of here, but his desire to see the crystal was overwhelming. I really just wanted time for myself to contemplate my life and the experiences I was having. So while he was thinking of how he could get his hands on the crystal, I was thinking how to get rid of him. The worst thing about it is that he'd seen it, and there was no way I could undo that. "Randy, you're not going to believe me if I tell you about the crystal. I'm really not supposed to let anyone see it, so how about if you just forget it?" I had to at least try. "TJ, you tell some of the best stories I've ever heard. You think I'm going to miss out on your explanation of this?" I sat for a minute, and as much as I knew I shouldn't tell, I just had to tell someone. I didn't ask for this to happen to me. I was content to be just a boy that wanted to be a pro sports player or maybe even an artist. I didn't want this burden put on me. And why me? I'm just an ordinary kid. At least that is what I had thought a couple months ago. Has it already been a couple of months? Well, that's the first chapter, and hopefully you'll want to know what happens to TJ and Randy. So, thank you for listening, and hope to like my book.